Hi, I will show you now how you can enhance your research process and flow using text network analysis. First, open infranodus.com and click About, and then drag and drop the bookmarklet into the bookmarks bar of your browser. This will help you make excerpts from texts that are relevant to you. So then we log in and go to Settings, choose the language we will be using. Just to make it more precise, in this case it's going to be English, save settings, okay. Then we go to the apps, and usually I like to start from getting an overview of the subject that I'm interested in. So for example, here I'm going to use this app called Google Import, and I will type in the terms that are interesting for my research. So it's cognitive diversity, and then I can also name this as Cognitive Diversity Google, just to know later import. And what I'm going to see is a text network visualization of all the Google search results that relate to cognitive diversity. So here I see these search results. I can click cognitive and diversity, remove them from the graph by clicking the trash button here. So then I can see what is the context where they're used most often. So here I see that, for example, there's quite a lot about teams of people, viewpoint. I can select these terms, then it shows me the excerpt that talks exactly about these parts of the text. So this is about teams and cognitive diversity. So for example, here we have an interesting excerpt for us. It's about the impacts of the lack of cognitive diversity. I can just copy this excerpt and then click the graph mark button and choose which graph it's going to be imported in. I will call it excerpts, press enter, save. So then this excerpt is saved into my graph. Then I can go back to my original import, the data I got from Google, and choose something else. For example, perspective. Okay, so for example, here, having a team of people that are able to provide different perspectives, I can click on this link and see the article where this appeared. So for example, here, it's an interesting sentence for me that cognitive diversity can significantly improve results for organizations. Again, I can select this text, click the bookmarklet. It's going to be automatically saved into excerpts with the link, with the reference. Okay, so I click this, save, and go back to my graph. Another thing that can be interesting to do is to perform the same search on Google Scholar to see which scientific articles appear on this subject. So in order to do this, I can just open Google Scholar and type in cognitive diversity. Okay, and then I can simply copy the results manually into the graph. So in order to do this, I click the menu, choose the new contact, Cognitive Diversity Scholar, click enter, and then just copy and paste a couple of pages of search results so I get a general idea what this research tends to be about. Copy these two search results, visualize it as a graph, remove the two nodes that are obvious. So for example, here it's cognitive and diversity. I click the trash button, they're removed. Okay, then I can see what other nodes appear out there. There's also this analytics pane that shows you what are the most relevant topics in this text. So for example, here it's about the research on cognition, group decisions, effects on team members. So this gives us a general idea what the research on the subject is about. Now it can also be interesting to compare the research to the general Google search results. In order to do this, we click this button here on the right that allows us to compare different contexts together, and then we select what we want to compare it to. So in this case, it's the Google search results import. Then we can remove the words that we don't need in this analysis, cognitive diversity. Maybe also team, because that we know already. Okay, and then it shows us with the black color the nodes or the words that appear in the Google Scholar results, so that appear in research, but not in the general Google results. And here, they're also shown here on the analytics pane, you see, learning, language, knowledge, members. So, for example, language is quite an interesting thing here. So it's a really relevant term in research, but it doesn't really appear in Google search results. So this indicates a certain gap, what exists in the research, but not yet in the mainstream. Something related to cognitive diversity, language influence. Let's see what it's about. Language influence, it's about influencing the way people think. Okay, so we can click these terms, and then there's a button here that will perform the search on the nodes or the words that we selected. So we click that. Okay, so you see it's quite a lot of results about how language influences the way we think. So this already proposes an interesting link between using the language as a way to influence cognitive diversity. Then we can go back to our excerpts and see everything that we saved so far. So for example, here we see that cognitive diversity relates to people and teams of people in organizations. This is one important topic. Another important topic is about the relationship between the cognitive diversity, language, and space. So here we can already see an overview of all the different texts that caught our attention.